Hey guys, welcome to my conversation with your Tennessee 2A 120-pound state champion, and I should say two-time state champion from Dobyns, Bennett, Mason Jakob. Hey Mason, how's it going?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So two-timer,
Mm-hmm.
just a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
So we've been pretty good since we got to high school.
Oh yeah.
How is it different being a one timer versus a two timer?
Um, I mean, uh, it's kind of hard to say. I would say really, it's not as much it's not that big of a difference. I mean, being like a state champion obviously is like one of my accomplishments and like a big goal of mine that I was ready to achieve or wanting to achieve. But that's one of my lowest goals. Like I plan on going way farther than that. So I mean, being a state champ's like cool and all, but like being like number one or number number one in the country is really where I want to be at.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. So you know what? We're gonna get to the feeling of that first state title because it is a
Okay.
goal, and until you actually achieve it,
Yeah.
whatever. We'll get to that in a
Mhm.
minute. Let's go off the mat. Talk a couple of things off the mat. You good with that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go with sushi. Yes or no?
Oh, dude, I love sushi. Love sushi.
Really? Like the
Oh
raw
yeah.
fish and everything?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Give me a little
Okay.
California roll.
Okay. All right. If I gave you a time machine, would you go into the future or go into the past?
Mm, future.
A future. Okay. How far are we going in the future?
Dude, I don't know. It would be really cool to go into the future and like see something that's like invented like at that time, but that's not invented in our time, and then like I could invent it and like make it was like my idea.
When you went back, I
Hmm.
got you. Okay. So it would be so if we were to use it, if you got a time machine in 1950 and went into the future and saw everybody with like cell phones, like that
Yeah,
might be a
yeah, yeah.
thing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Um, so most hated food, a food you just don't like.
Seaweed. You know, like the little like seaweed snacks that you can eat.
Yeah.
Dude, I tried those one time. It was terrible. It was so bad.
All
It was it
all
was really
right.
bad. Which is weird because it's in sushi, but I don't really taste it.
Yeah, no, I think that it is a little, but it's independent. It's not with all the other
Mhm.
stuff in sushi. So,
Yeah, right.
pineapple on pizza, is that a yes or a no?
I think
Yeah.
it belongs. I think it tastes pretty good.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cookies or brownies?
Cookies.
Cookies. What kind of cookies?
Sugar cookies.
Sugar cookies?
Yeah, sugar
O-
cookies.
Okay. You're the second person to say sugar cookies. Okay. All right. Would you rather be the richest person in the world or the smartest person in the world?
Smartest.
Smartest?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. That was easy.
Yeah, I
Why?
mean, I feel like if you're like that smart, like you're gonna figure something out. Like you'll make good money or do invent something. But being in the richest, I just feel like you probably take life for granted. Like you just like I have all this stuff. Like what's it matter?
I got you. All right. So what's your favorite subject in school?
Oh, probably history.
History. Why
Probably.
history?
I don't know. I just like learning about stuff. Like last year, I learned about like history in Japan, and I thought
Oh,
all that stuff was really cool. And
yeah.
this year, I'm doing U.S. history, so like I just kind of like learning about all the stuff that like's gone on in the past.
Is there a particular time in the past that you kind of like more than another?
Probably feudal Japan.
Feudal Japan.
I think that's how you pronounce that. I could be wrong.
No, that might be right. Yeah, that's cool.
It
That's
it was
cool.
pretty interesting
That's
from
cool.
what I learned about it.
All right. How about the worst subject
Worst subject.
or the one you don't like the most?
It's funny because I probably have the best grade in it, but it's math.
How does that work out?
I don't know. It's long, very long. It's not a lot of fun.
All right, just a couple more. I have a fear of what?
I have a fear of, um, I don't really know. I don't really think there's snakes. I hate
Snakes.
snakes. That's what, dude. I hate snakes.
I got you. Okay. I'm yeah. Snakes are not one at the top of my list either. All right.
Yeah, no.
So, if we were, if I were to ask you if you had a talent off the mat, what might that be?
Um, Off that mat, I mean, I can do a backflip. I'd say I'm pretty like, yeah,
All right.
pretty decent at like stuff like that, like flips
Gymnastics.
and stuff. Yeah.
Did you do any like formal gymnastics when you were little or
So
anything?
I never did it like the sport, but I did like privates with this gymnastics teacher for a couple of years, so that helped a lot.
Yeah, and I
And
was
I
gonna
guess
ask you.
it ties into wrestling too, like with flexibility and stuff.
Yeah, well, and body awareness, right? And
Yeah,
kind of
right.
yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's go on the mat and let's go back in time when Mason. When did Mason begin wrestling? How'd you start wrestling? All that jazz.
So, I started when I was 5. Before that, I played soccer, and you would have to ask my dad. I'm not 100% on this, but he always says it that like I hated going to soccer practice. I would cry going to soccer practice because I hated it so much. And then he also wrestled in high school, so he was like, "Well, let's put him in wrestling. Let's see how he does." And dude, ever since that first time I was in there, I've always loved it.
Is that right? So do you remember
Oh
the
yeah.
first time?
No, but that's what he says. So
I
I just take his word for it.
do you remember your first ever match?
I do not. But I do remember a couple of stories. Like they're like kind of like, yeah, I kind of remember that. And then my dad will tell me and I'm like, yeah, I kind of remember that. But like not fully. You know what I mean?
I got you. But the general sense was you loved it.
Oh yeah.
Even as a little kid, you just loved it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look we look to now. You've won 2 state titles, right?
Mhm.
Um you started wrestling when you were 5,
Yeah.
okay? And I'm sure you look back on yourself and growth of Mason
Oh yeah,
over the years,
absolutely. When I
right?
was I mean, whenever I was a little kid, like being a state champ, like my whole goal was to be a 4-timer, and that still is a goal that I'm going to achieve, or at least aiming to achieve. But when I was a little kid, like that was one of our biggest goals, and then even like going to a college in wrestling was a big goal of ours. So hopefully that's another goal we can achieve there.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you got quite a few on your list.
Oh yeah.
So what would be a piece of advice that you would give a younger Mason about wrestling?
Stick with it. I mean, because there was times in the past where I wanted to quit and I didn't like it for like a little bit, and then I kind of just got back into it and loved it the same. Just saying, stick with it. Like it'll work out.
What's a thing that you've learned like within the last like say 8 months, like that's really been important to you, your growth? It could be a technique, it could be mental, it could be whatever.
Um, I mean, obviously, like enjoying wrestling, like no matter what happens on the mat, like you're gonna live. The next day is gonna come. But really also just believing that I can beat these guys that are that high level. Like I can beat the number 1 guy or I can beat the number 8 guy. It just depends on um it really just depends on uh I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, that was just it. Like I can beat these guys
Yeah,
that
yeah. Well, I
I'm as
mean,
good as.
it might depend upon like the moment and
Yeah.
all the different things. Yeah. So you've wrestled so we're talking about a two-time state champion, and you're just a
Hmm.
sophomore. Your goal is to be a four-time state champion. I'm not going to say you weren't pushed or whatever. You got some good
Hmm.
competition in the state of Tennessee,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's not at that level necessarily. I
right.
mean, I guess maybe if you were wrestling JoJo in the same
Hmm.
classification, that might be different, or
Yeah.
Dupel or one of them. Um,
Hmm.
but so I guess my question to you is how do you how do you stay not motivated, but how do you stay focused on getting that next state title?
Well, I mean, really just I was kind of looking past the state tournament. Like, I mean, obviously, like I knew if I don't wrestle like my best, like there's a chance I can get beat, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But um oh, I mean, I always just go into practice always looking to improve and know that, after the state tournament, NHSCA is coming up. I'm looking to win that this year. So, and then
got it.
after that, everything going forward.
So if you maintain your focus on those bigger goals, the other goal will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So last couple of questions. Who's the best person you ever rolled with? Like, and it doesn't have to be in a match, right? It could be
Uh-huh.
in practice, it could be at a camp, whatever. Who did you like go up against and you went, "Ooh, man, that person good."
Does this have to be like somebody like in high school, or is it gonna be like
No,
literally
anybody.
anybody?
Anybody.
I gotta go with either Nashawn, my old coach, or Zeke, my newer coach. Anytime I wrestled with them, it was just, yeah, there's a big difference in high school wrestling and an NCAA finalist.
Yeah, yes, there is.
You get humbled real quick.
You get humbled real quick. So there's days you walk in, you're like, yeah, I got this. Come on, let's go. And
Yeah,
and
yeah. And then
and they cut you
especially
down.
with Zeke, we'll do privates in the mornings, 1 to 2 times a week. So after, I think after Beast, where I got fifth, and I got that 18th ranking or 15th ranking, I was like, all right. So I was like, come on, Zeke, let's wrestle, let's go. Immediately off the west side, took a shot. He cement mixered me, and it was terrible.
You know what? It's always good to stay humble, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I got you. All right. So next for Mason, you obviously said NHSCA's. What else? What is in the
Um,
near future?
After that, it'll be NHSCA duels. Um, I want to do Fargo, but I'm not 100% sure if we're still doing that or not.
Okay.
But yeah, NHSCA individuals, duels, and I guess I'm not really entirely sure after
Yeah.
that.
How about looking a little bit further ahead? I mean, obviously, you've mentioned wrestling in college, and that's a
Mhm.
goal and that sort of thing. Are you starting to kind of get a feel for where you want to go and what you're interested in?
Um, Honestly, there's like I could say any school. If I feel like I could say a school right now and then go visit a different school and be like, this is where I want to go.
Yeah.
This is me. So I'm just I guess we'll see June 15th or whatever that date
Yeah, it's
is.
right. Yeah, yeah, coming up.
Something like
So,
that. Yeah.
so you're pretty open. You're open at this
Mhm.
moment. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So last question is the last question I've asked every single person, and that is why wrestle? What is special about wrestling to you?
Uh I would say I don't know, I just always enjoyed um traveling over all around the country, wrestling with my friends, progressively getting better. I always wanted to wrestle or play football, but I was also a small guy, so it was like it's not like I had much of a choice. But I don't really know. I've just always loved wrestling, I guess.
Okay.
I couldn't really tell you why. Just
You can't
just
tell me
do.
why. I got
Just
you.
do.
I got you. All right. That sounds good. Well, Mason, first I want to say congratulations on two state titles.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
I want to wish you the best of luck as you make a run for a national title at NHSCA's.
Thank you.
And really, best of luck on all the things in the future. It is always fun to talk with you. And yeah, maybe we'll do this again next year.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, peace.